Well, obviously, it is potentially a very negative impact that it can have. Chile depends very heavily on the world market. Chile is the country with the highest number of free trade agreements in the world. Chile has something like 30 free trade agreements with 65 countries around the world. Therefore, export markets are very important for Chile. And we're also concerned about the possibility of a worldwide recession. So it isn't just a question of our exports to the United States. It is also a question of what will happen with the global economy more generally. Chile is in a privileged position in the sense that we have diversified our markets quite a bit. For Chile, China is our number one export market. Something like 40% of our exports go to China. The United States is our second largest export market, but we also export quite a bit to Europe and to Latin America. So we have a diversified export basket, but even so, these things can hurt us pretty badly. Well, there are some people that say that the real purpose of this exercise is to decouple the US economy from the Chinese economy. And that, it seems to me, would be a very serious mistake. Between the two economies, between the US and the Chinese economy, that represents something like 43% of the world's GDP. And their trade, the bilateral trade between China and the US, is around $600 billion, little under $600 billion. So to attempt to decouple these two economies would cause enormous damage to the world economy as a whole. So I would hope that there is some pulling back on this. I think we're already seeing some signs. There was today an announcement of President Trump that things like phones and some computers and laptops, some chips, would be exempted from these very high tariffs that the US government has imposed on China. So we may see some backtracking there.
Jelajahi cara baru mendapatkan informasi. Download MetroTV Extend sekarang.